Hello YouTube family, this is my third video on my YouTube channel. This is going to be the second video in the series of starting your freelance career for students. Now today we're going to focus on one specific area, which is networking. Now when I say networking, what I'm talking about today is I'm talking about focusing on social media. Now, for me, there are three main social media platforms that I like to use specifically for networking. The first being Dribbble. Dribbble is very important, especially for young designers or young illustrators starting out. It's a great place to show off your work without having to have an actual portfolio website. The second one that we're going to focus on today is going to be Instagram. Again, another perfect area where you can show off your work without having to have an actual portfolio website. And the third place, and this one is actually, I find it being one of the more important ones, especially when you're early on into your career, it's Twitter. And we're going to go into detail about why that's important in a little bit. Now, some of you might ask instantly, well, wait a minute, what about Facebook? What about LinkedIn? What about Pinterest, Tumblr, all those other social media places? What about Google Plus? First thing I'm going to say is Google Plus, no. Just no. With Facebook, I use that primarily as like one-on-one connections with friends and family. I use it a little bit for business now, but I wouldn't suggest that starting off. That should be more of like your personal one-on-one networking tool for like friends and family. Tumblr and Pinterest, those are good to share too, but I wouldn't focus primarily on those. Tumblr is kind of hard to break into. I've been posting to Tumblr for years and I've never really seen a whole lot of success from it. I've never gotten a freelance client come from it. I've never gotten a freelance project come from it. So I wouldn't really suggesting focusing too much on that. I would focus on those main three that I discussed. So we're going to dive in with the first one. The first one is Dribbble. So I got my intro Dribbble invite from the amazing Lenny Terenzi. I'm going to have a link to his profile down below, his Dribbble profile and his social media, so definitely check him out. But I got my first invite from him, and it really, I think, allowed me to step up my game, and it really allowed me to post a lot of my early work and for people to see my early work. It's a great tool for just like, if you don't want, or if you don't have the web design skills, or if you don't want to like really invest and put a ton of time into your personal website, you don't have to. So Dribbble is a great place to just post little snippets of work that you've done, share the progress of things, get feedback from people. It's a really great tool specifically for that. My suggestion when you're first starting off on Dribbble is post daily. Now, when I say post daily, I don't mean post, 2 shots, 3 shots, 4 shots a day. I mean post one specific shot per day. That one shot is all you need. If you post 2 shots, they're gonna kind of like unbalance each other. One will probably get more likes than the other one, and the other one becomes like a lost Dribbble shot. Now, another thing you need to focus on is also tagging. Always tag your Dribbble shots. It's very important. The reason being, if someone ever searches illustration, if someone ever searches bright colors or iPhone or computer or something like that in Dribbble, if you don't have it tagged, yours is not going to come up. If you have it tagged, it's going to come up. People are going to find it. Clients search things like this when they're looking for illustrators to illustrate maybe a computer scene, or when they're looking for someone to create a marketing page, they're going to search marketing on Dribbble. So definitely always tag. Now, you don't have to write a novel for your description. Just write a simple description. Link out to anything that you want to link out to. If you have an actual case study for this project, link to the case study. If you have Instagram, social media, link in that description. It's perfectly fine. Don't worry about it. Those are some simple tips and tricks to get you started on Dribbble today. Now, going on to the next one, Instagram. Instagram is another great tool to just show your work. I bet you right now if you go onto your Instagram page, you're gonna see probably a lot of selfies, food shots, maybe some crazy videos of you and your friends having fun and everything like that. That is fine. What I'm going to suggest is this. If you want to really use Instagram to its fullest, with your career, either create a separate Instagram account specifically for this, or you might want to rethink changing up your current Instagram account. For me, I did not even do this correctly until probably less than a year ago, like maybe 6 to 8 months ago is when I really started using Instagram properly for myself. I have 2 Instagram accounts, one for myself and one for Slaptastick, my sticker subscription service. And I've found that when I switched up my personal account, instead of posting like all those, cute dog pictures or videos and stuff like that, when I started focusing more on my work and I started sharing more of my work, my follower count went up. I had clients coming to me and they're like, "Oh yeah, I saw your work on Instagram. I love looking at your Instagram account. You always post really great stuff." And so when I see that, I know this is making a difference. This is bringing more people in. I wish I would have known this sooner because I could have probably gotten even more freelance work that way. So this is why I wanted to touch on this with you. Now, when it comes to content for your Instagram, you can go a little bit more beyond what you can do with Dribbble. Dribbble, you want finished or semi-finished work. Instagram, sketches. You can do sketches. You can do whiteboards. You can do process shots. You can maybe even do videos and just talk about the projects that you want to work on and things like that. If you go to my Instagram, which is linked down below, you'll see like most of my shots recently have been all of my Cintiq and like work on my Cintiq. And that's by design. That's it shows like in progress or a process shot. People get to see my work environment and everything. So you can go and do that. You don't have to just stick to cropped final pieces. You don't have to do that. I wouldn't really suggest that because not a lot of people tend to like those type of shots. But you can really just focus on the actual process of it and staging your photographs for that. Now, finally, the last thing we're going to talk about is Twitter. So Twitter lately has really been going out in a lot of people's mind. They don't use it nearly as much. They feel like it's getting stale and everything. I disagree with that. I feel like Twitter is one of those perfect tools, and I even consider it like a battleground in a way. I know it's a horrible way of referring to it, but I look at it this way. When you go onto Twitter, you have these amazing artists, designers, famous people, everything who are tweeting constantly, right? Now, in the past, the only way to network with some of these people was to go and find them at conferences, find them in person, find them in a coffee shop and everything like that. Now, though, that's not the case. Now you have Twitter, which is a perfect platform for this. You have a way of getting people's attention. You have a way of reaching out to people that you never had before. Now, that being said, don't send the common, "Do you have any advice for a student who's going to look for their first job?" Don't send those tweets. Please don't. Please. I know you're smarter than that. I know you are definitely smarter than that. It's okay. I did the same thing too. So it's okay if you've done that in the past. From now on, don't do it. No. No. Instead, if you're going to send stuff like that, send it through email. Send it through a direct message. But I wouldn't even send it through direct message. Just send it through email. That's all you need to do in order to ask that question. Instead, this is what you're going to do. For instance, let's say you have someone that you really admire, or someone that you really want to work with. For me, I had that same thing when I was about to graduate from college. I had about maybe a half a dozen companies that I wanted to work for, agencies from Atlanta to Savannah. And I really wanted to work with them. So I started to follow them on Twitter, sorry. And I would tweet to them every day. And when I say tweet to them, I don't mean like cold calling tweeting. I mean, I would look at what they were talking about, and I would respond a couple times a day or a couple times every other day, and just respond and see if I could get like a dialogue going. And this actually led to me getting my first job outside of college. I was talking to Bill Kenny of Focus Lab. There's a link down below for Focus Lab if you'd like to check them out. And we just started chatting through tweets, and then eventually we started chatting through direct messages. And I remember eventually, for some reason, like the talking went cold. But then I saw a tweet that he mentioned about, going to this awesome design conference in San Diego, California, which is where I live now. And I sent him a message like, hey, would love to hear about, how ValioCon went and everything like that, and like, I love like the latest stuff that you've been putting out, something like that. I can't remember the tweet exactly, but it was something along those lines. And he responded, he was like, hey, ValioCon was awesome. Man, we still need to get lunch and everything like that, and maybe we can talk about finding you a spot in the company. Yeah. I remember that moment exactly when I read that. I squealed like a little girl. Yeah, I'm not proud of it, but I really did, because this was a company that I loved, and I loved following their work and everything like that. And now, after I think we were doing this back and forth for a few months, now all of a sudden we have a lunch date, which could lead to me having a job, and it did. Actually, we never even had lunch. Yeah. We never had lunch. But it led to me getting a job. And so I find, and I've told the same story to so many other people, and I've shared this technique with so many other people, and I've had friends who, they tell me, this works. Like, this is something that I did also, and that's how I got my job at X, Y, and Z, or whatever. So definitely try and do that. It's definitely going to help you out. But I think for now, this is the last I'm going to do for this video. But I will say this, I do have a surprise. I have one Dribbble invite available, and I'm going to give it away to one lucky subscriber of my YouTube channel. All you have to do is subscribe, like this video, and just comment below and let me know what you would like to hear in future videos. That's all you have to do. Just do that, and I'm going to choose one lucky person to get this free Dribbble invite sometime at the end of December. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this video helped you out, and I hope it brought some sort of like nugget of wisdom to you. But that's it for now. Hope you guys have, a great week and everything. So bye, everybody.